this session. Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Anthony. Today we'll be looking at Java, the Java class, the lab, some of the labs in Java OOP. Before we continue, I just want to make a disclaimer. The document we'll be using is from Golovin from RGU. So we're using this material and we're just solving it. It's just for copyright stuff if there's anything, but just putting it out that we're using this material for everywhere the video will be seen or the class will be referenced. The material is an RGU material. Wasn't the one that prepared it. About it. I'm just solving the questions instead. Yeah. That being said, we'll go into it. We have limited time to do this. So we'll just start. So we were looking at Lab 1, right? Lab 1, we start from Lab 1 for Java. Just going to share my screen. Wow, did that. Okay, great. While we're doing the lab, I'll just be pointing out some mistakes and issues and errors I've seen people have and how to go about them. The first thing I think is common is doing something and not knowing where you did it, like losing the stuff you did. I hear most people say, okay, I actually did it in the last lab, I can't find it again, and stuff like that. Now, to mitigate that, what you do is you need to have a source of truth for everything you're doing. Okay, at every point in time, if I need anything, any work I've been doing before, I know where to go and get it. When I want to save anything, I know exactly where I want to save it into. So one thing I encourage people to do is to just have one folder on their system. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll just say I want to have a folder on my desktop called tutorials. So in your own case, probably for your lab, you might want to have a folder called labs. So I'll just have tutorials. One other thing, for everything you will be doing from now on, you're creating a file, you're creating a folder, make sure there are no spaces inside them. Just make, even if you're not doing anything programming, at least as an aspiring developer, right? Try and make sure everything you're creating, they are just one word. Make sure you are not putting sentence. And if your file name actually has multiple words, then you can do something like an underscore, rename, let's say class labs, right? You can do something like this. You can also do a camel case, class labs. Make sure you don't have spaces in your file names, just to make things easier for you later when you're trying to reference them tutorials. So I'll go back to tutorials, and inside the tutorial folder, I want to have another folder. I want to say, okay, Lab 1, right? Because I want to have all my labs inside one place so I can reference all of them. Lab 1, right? So now, okay, I'll just go from uh, uh I'm sure everybody has their VS Code installed. Everybody has a working Visual Studio Code. Let's see where I can get, so I can actually use Visual Studio Code. Yeah, this is it. I'll actually be using this. Something about that. Okay, so if you have your Visual Studio Code irrespective of what was open, like my own earlier, it opened some things, right? I see people having that stuff too. Irrespective of what was opened, if you're using Windows, you can actually just right click here and say, give me new Windows somewhere around here. And if you're not on Windows, and even on Windows or on Mac, once it opens up, whether it opens what you want or it doesn't open what you want, you can easily go to files and say open folder, right? Then you navigate to the folder you created, which was mine was on desktop. I know it was tutorial, I think, tutorial. And I want to work on Lab1, right? So open. So that opens Lab1 for me. Right. So if we're here, let's get the question. So Lab1 says write a code to display a single line of text with multiple statements. Before we do that, okay, we can actually just go with the requirement. The string welcome to object-oriented programming can be displayed in several ways. After creating class called LORG used to print statement to produce the output shown below. The first statement uses system out method print to display the first string. The second use system blah blah blah. Each print or print line statement resume displaying characters from where the last print or print statement stopped displaying character, unlike print. After displaying its argument, which adds at the end of line, print does not position the output cursor at the beginning of the next line in the command window. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, basically what they are saying here is I will actually go into this when I type it out. So basically, we want to create a file called LORG dot Java. Right. Let's make coming. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, so LORG.java, the class is supposed to come up. Actually, you're supposed to know how to type the class, but if I create a new one, it will actually come up. LORG2.java. Well, my VS Code is acting out. So for people that their VS Code is also acting out, no need to worry about it. Can you still hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I think somebody is saying they can hear. You might want to reconnect your audio or something. Okay, great. For people that their class is also not coming up like Golovin is doing in class, you don't have to worry about this, you don't have to fret. Just type it out yourself. To put a class is as simple as just typing public class, then your file name. My own file name is lorg.java, but you don't need the Java. All you need is the file name, which is lorg. So I'll type lorg, right?
Okay, you can hear me. We can't hear you at all. I don't know if it's only me.
I think it's only you. Also, disconnecting audio, please. You can just, if you have anything, just put it in the chat so you don't, I'll bring it up later. Thanks. Okay, so LORGU, just the file name, put it in the class, and you are good to go, right? So that's your class. You have your class, then you create a method. I'll probably before the end of the class, I'll give a brief explanation of what a class and a method is, but let's just continue with what we're told to do. So for every Java project, you need an entry file, and the entry file is the main method. right? So you need a main method. So you can just type, okay, I can use that, but for the sake of the class, this is how to write a main public static void main string array. Now, let me take these one by one. Public is for accessibility, like how should it be accessible? There's public, there's private, there's global. But for now, let's just keep it as saying it's for accessibility. Public is like it's accessible to anybody can actually invoke this main method. Now, this is a function. This is like a function in other programming languages. So anybody can invoke this main method. That's why we're, but I think sometimes down the line, towards the end of the whole lecture, they will still talk about all this accessibility. So public is for accessibility, static is also for accessibility. But one thing we've talked about are these other ones, which I'll also talk about. Void. Void here, this space is data type. Right? This space right here is data type. And data type, we have different bunch of data type. We will see them down the line during the lecture. But while we're here, we have something called data types. Now, Java is a typed language. It's a typed language and it's a precise language. We'll see where precision comes in a bit. So, but Java is a typed language. Typed means everything you are creating must have a type. What do we call a type? A type means the form of the data, the type of the data. Okay. Anthony is different from 12. Like 12 as in age, Anthony as in name. Anthony is character, whereby 12 is a number. So those things as different data types. So we'll start with the common ones. We have string. We have string. We have integers. Integers. We have booleans. We have booleans. We have what else? What else? Yeah, let's just say we have void also. Now, string is any character, like any character on your keyboard. But to write this string, you need this apostrophes. So for you to write a string, you need apostrophe. Every other thing you can write without the apostrophe, but for string, the only thing that makes string different is it needs an apostrophe. The reason for this is because one can also be a string, two can also be a string, although they are supposed to be a number, right? Okay, before this, we actually have some other data types. Here we have decimals. So take this as 3, which is double. I'll take these as 4, which is 6. So for you to write the string, you need to wrap your string in apostrophe. So here I can have something like I am a boy, or as simple as a, or as simple as Anthony. All these are string as long as they are wrapped inside an apostrophe. So we also have integers. Integers means whole number. 1, 2, 3, 45. Any number to a certain length, right? There is also a data type called long, right? Long, but we won't go into that. Long is a longer integer. Like there is a maximum number of bytes that can go into integer, but I won't really go into that right now. I don't think it's relevant to this class. You can read on that yourself. There is a certain length of bytes that can go into integer, and once that is up, then you can start using long, but you can read on that yourself. So let's go to double. Basically, what you need to know about integer is it holds whole number, right? It holds anything whole number, and you can just write it. You don't need an apostrophe or anything, just write it straight up. So double are fractions, they are decimal numbers, right? You have 1.2, 5.6, stuff like that, 22.7. Sorry, I think what I'm typing is different from what I'm saying. Just bear with me. Uh, Double and float, the same way we have integer and long, double and float are actually both holding decimal numbers. But the difference between double and float is also the difference between integer and long. Float is a shorter integer, like is a shorter double. Double could hold longer character, and it's very, very precise. I will show you that in let me just show you that very quick so you understand what I'm saying. Double use 21.0 over 7.0 pi, right? I think 21 by 7, 21 over 7, yeah. So I will say just have a float of that. Float equals you can use this thing here, small letter. So don't mind me. I just want to show you something here. Don't note that I put a underscore here. This is not two words. This is just one word. So if you need two words like this, make sure you put an underscore or you use a camel case. Don't put space in anything you are doing here. The variable names. So then I want to print them and see what I get. Start number. Right. Okay. I have a working file. We'll just wait for that, but that could take some time. I'll just open the working file and Alright. It's not sure if double. Yes. Java is actually Java is actually not in Java. Java is actually not responding. Trying to figure that out, but I guess we have to use my Java is not responding, so might have to use complete. Okay, let's just I'll check out why that is going. It's just my system Java file that is not responding. We'll just use replete. Okay, so I'll just create a new Java. Okay, so we have these, right? So let's see, is this what I can find? Oh, it's just taking time. So this was all I was trying to show earlier. Double. I'm actually using a freeze so it's going to end in the next couple of minutes. If it goes off, just click on the link again. It should bring you back to the meeting. Yeah, so we have double number equals 21.0 over 7.0, right? And we say float another number equals, yeah, I'm just converting number that is a double to float. That's all. What? system dot system dot out dot print line another number. So this time so the number. So we just want to see what happens when we do that. Number is a double, so we need a double. Why is it coming out as an integer? Oh, is it 21? What is pi? Sorry, anybody knows what pi is? 22 over 7, not 21. 22, 22 over 7. Yeah, so this is where I'm going. If you, the same number, but one is more precise, one is longer, one is shorter. So that is where double and float comes in. The shorter one is a float, the longer one is a double. I'll just copy wherever I'm bring it here. Change this to main. So don't shout. And this again. Okay. So we're talking about double and float. The double 22. The double is more precise and long. Like it's more precise. Like you can have as many as possible. Like you can have it until it has a lot of memory, it can hold a lot of character. But for float, it has shorter length of character. So if you're dealing with things like just 1.2, 5.6, 4.4, the characters that are not long, then you can stick with float. But when you want to be precise, you are building a banking app where people can have different, like a longer or crypto sites where you can have 0.0000 something Bitcoin. So you want to be very precise. You don't want anything to be lost. So that's when you use a double. Now, so there's double and float. Then we have Boolean. Boolean are just true or false. Like anything true and false, you'll use Boolean. Then we have void. Void is just null, means empty. Null is not present. We don't have it, so it's just null. So that's Boolean. So back to what we're doing here. So we have sorry, that's void is just empty. Boolean is true or false. So void here means we won't be returning anything. This is our return data type. So from main method, what do we want to return? We are not returning anything. And anything that goes into this bracket is what we call parameter, is an input. So a method is like a box, right? It's a box that you supply something and it gives you out something. It's just like your calculator, right? You pick up your calculator and you say, okay, you give it an input, you give it 21 point, you give it 21 and you give it 7 and it brings out 3.0 or something. You get, so that's how your method works. You supply it some value, and it also gives you out something. So this is the input parameter. This is the output. I hope we're getting that. So this is input, this is output. This is your method name. Now, the reason why I'm going through this is the method you can have in your class is not just one. It does not just mean you can have multiple methods. So in future, you might want to create your own bunch of methods. So to do that, it's just the same way. Public, static, void for now because they don't know what will be returning. Then you say addition. Let's say we want to be the calculator, right? Addition. Then you have your method name. Then you put the stuffs you want to, but for now we don't actually know what we want to send, so we'll leave it. We don't know our input yet, so we'll leave it empty, and you can do your addition inside here. Do your addition. Now, we might have been seeing me doing stuffs like this, all these / and all these green characters. They are called comments.